Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Belgian accent and the nerves kicking in. I'm sorry. Prof. Perry asked me to talk about violence against women, give my own opinion to you, and here he goes. We often address topics like HIV, AIDS, and violence against women in statistics, although they can only be addressed in one way truly, by being completely honest. Honesty is like truth. We live it individually, so we can bend it. We can call certain things a reality, but often this reality differs from individual to individual, so we manipulate it. I believe we should look at violence the way it approaches us. It makes no difference what country you come from. Violence respects no frontiers. It makes no difference what color your skin is. It does not respect your religious background or how much money you have in the bank. It is one of those things that hits you in the face, sometimes literally, when you least expect it. Violence can be physical, verbal, sexual, psychological, through neglect and deprivation. If I were to approach it here, now, like they do at Alcoholics Anonymous, for example, and ask you to raise your hand if you have ever personally been touched by violence in your lives, and to stand up and speak out, I would be the first to stand and say, my name is Natascha Proost, and I was confronted with violence. I was abused verbally and physically. There is one important note connected to this statement. I was never a victim. This is important because even at the time these assaults happened, yes, of course, I felt guilty, and I blamed myself at first. Sure, I did not speak out or tell anyone, not even my friends, my closest family, because I felt ashamed until I realized something, and I consciously decided to become aware of a repetitive pattern I saw appearing. I looked back at my life, and I found nothing but bliss in my childhood. But when I look back at my mother and my grandmother, they had both been victims of domestic violence themselves. So I then realized that often it is much more than an individual experience. This is a chain that one needs to break, and we cannot do it alone. I believe the universe, or God, gives you what you can handle. So even though it might be hard sometimes to find a reason behind the bad happening to oneself, I came to understand that this particular knowledge is not important. What is important, however, is that we must be aware of the fact that we have to change the world by changing ourselves first. Change comes through choice, grasping every opportunity to make a difference. Even if you think it is very small, you will never know how many lives you have touched by doing so. I'm not a victim. Neither are the millions of my sisters around the globe who suffer violence in the many different forms it takes. Violence originates from the ego, from fear. Fear of what you are not able to understand. Fear of what you can't control. Some of us hide away when we are fearful, others lash out. And because of this lack of control, we try to manipulate and we try to possess what is not ours. Violence through fear originates from the ego that finds me more important than you. When fear lives in one's heart, one cannot feel the one and only security that life offers, and that is love. I'm asking you, all of you, to consciously generate and cultivate that love in your hearts, to speak about anything going on in your life openly, to avoid stigma, anything that feels wrong to you as an individual in any kind of relationship or situation, should be open for discussion. Being able to do this from your heart level, from your soul, is not only healing, but it will enhance the knowledge that in fact we are all connected, and anything that I inflict upon another will reflect upon me. Since the day I was born, I have been convinced that this planet, one day, can be free of violence. I have been told many times how naive I was for speaking my personal truth. The creation of a healthy and safe environment to grow in is what every parent wishes for their children. So, must it only be for my child? Of course not. This should be available to every child, every woman, every being on this beautiful temporary home we call planet Earth. We know this all so well. And when we go home after this amazing, inspiring evening, energized by the power of creativity and understanding we now all feel the physical presence of in this theater, and we return to day-to-day life, I'm asking you to hold on to that feeling. We're all so busy. We're all so important. There are so many problems to tackle on a daily basis. Do me a favor. Stop. Breathe. Experience the moment, the now moment. Look at the sun. Connect to a tree. Then use that particular talent that has been given to you as an individual. You can pray, you can meditate, you can donate, you can write, you can Twitter and Facebook, you can sing, play an instrument, but go and support others that suffer physical violence, emotional violence. Help them not to become victims. Use that energy that corresponds with you and know how best to help to end violence in general. Send out a positive vibe, because change is a conscious choice. The Tibetans have a mantra. They say, Om Mani Padme Om. This is a chant that expresses the compassion for all human beings, or for all beings in general. Neil Donald Welch, the author of Conversations with God, said, one simple change, seeking and finding peace within, could, if it were undertaken by everyone, end all wars, eliminate conflict, and prevent injustice. World peace, it's a personal thing. What is needed is not a change of circumstance, but a change of consciousness. Thank you.